Come on. Yeah! We're back on. We're back on, finally. That was effort. That was effort. Right. Sorry about that, guys. If you're watching in the reruns, it was... Oh my god, my mobile was messing up on the app. It really was. I had to shut down my phone twice to try and refresh it, basically. We will have some people in the chat in a sec, I am sure. But yeah, so sorry to everyone who is watching live as well on the other one. I think it might be the walking round that does it, I don't know, but it's a bit pathetic, that, isn't it? If it just like plays up when you're just walking round. It's like, that's like if you had like a Walkman or anything, you know, and it kept freezing up. You know, but have you got me on in there? Yeah. Right. But yeah, I mean, if they need to sort that technology out, if it freezes up when you're walking around, that is pretty bad. But maybe they have, I don't know, maybe it's just my connection. But yeah, we've got 4 people in the chat. Please do say hello if you are in there. Smart Reselling, welcome back. Yeah, it was, I don't know, this YouTube, it's terrible, isn't it? I'm going to have to go into what happened with the fridge. Oh, we're not doing the fridge thing. Yeah, I'm going to have to go into my videos, like, look, I'm probably a bit close to the screen there, aren't I? Going to have to go into my videos later on and re-tag them and stuff, but that's fine, I can do that. Philippa says hi there, so I'll just do a little quick sort of end to the stream, you know, just 10 minute sort of thing. I'm going to go down to the charity shops now. I would take you with me, but, you know, the 4G and everything, it'll use up so much of my 4G. Peter is in the chat, hi there Peter. Just take these off. So if you didn't watch my other one, or you didn't catch like take 2, you might want to go back and watch that was pretty funny. So yeah, anyway, questions in the chat, I will do some questions and then I will wrap it up. And yeah, it's not been the smoothest ever Thursday talks, but what are you going to do? I'll hopefully, I'm just going to see if I can't, you know, find the issue of the problem for next week, because I really want to do this mobile live streaming from now on. It's just so much easier, but there was some sort of problem then, and I don't know whether it was to do with the YouTube app, my phone, my internet connection. I doubt it was my internet connection though, because, well, it did say very bad connection, but this house has got a pretty good connection, so I don't know. Yeah, we have 6 people watching now. As I say, please say hi if you are watching. And yeah, what else did I want to say today? I talked about the vlog. Oh, Q&A with my mum and dad, that is coming. I'll upload it like tomorrow. I meant to upload it yesterday. Got any tips for getting started with FBA? I've sold thousands of things on eBay, but just don't know where to get started with FBA, Peter says. What you got planned for the weekend, ads? Sourcing, like car boot, charity shops, all that sort of stuff. With FBA... I just say do it. I just, like, you've got to be careful. I've got some stuff up there at the moment that is still sat up there from like a year ago, because I didn't have the same knowledge as I do now on sales rank and stuff. So you've got to I would say, yeah, this is a good tip. Really look into camel sales history and sales rank. I think that will really, really help you out. And send stuff up that you are sure will sell. You know, you are sure will sell quickly, because you don't want stuff a year later, like I'm in the position of, you know, it's just sat up there and you end up having to get it back, or you have, you know, wait for free returns or get it destroyed, and you know, all that sort of stuff. So sales rank and camel. I'm thinking I might just put you there actually and stand up here. Is that better? That's okay, isn't it? Just saves me holding the phone. So yeah, and what other tips? I'm not an expert on FBA. I've only been doing it a year, or just over. But But yeah, I mean, sales rank is a big one. New products. I would start with new products. Back from my bins. Oh, did you go? I didn't see that in the last chat. But yeah, so what was I going to say? So new. Start with new products like things like new toys and games, new board games, things like that, because it's so easy to do. Like scan them in and just whack them in a box. You know, like don't start. What I think I did it quite a good way. I started with all the new stuff, like a lot of people told me to, and then I gradually progressed into the used stuff. And there is great money in the used stuff. Amazon, as loads of people say, is like better for new stuff. It's gravitated towards that. And you can just see that with the platform, you know, with how you list things and stuff like that. It's just gravitated towards, for one, quantity, and for two, let's do it that way, so I'm not giving you a finger or anything. For two, new stuff. So, but I mean, used stuff goes excellent. And I've got big boxes there, and I'd say like 40% of that in those boxes there is used. Used consoles, stuff like that, they go great. You've got to be careful with used video games, and what I mean by that is sales rank. I got caught out when I was first doing them, and you know, as I say, I've not been doing video games that long on FBA, but I got caught out first off, and I've still got stuff up there that is sitting and that is sticky, and that is sending up like used video games in maybe good or acceptable condition, and maybe there's a lot of them on there, or maybe the sales rank is okay. But I sent a lot of them in. I sent a lot of PS2, a lot of Xbox 360, they went well, and the PS3, again, they went okay. But the PS2 have seemed to sit there, and I'm talking like your real bread and butter stuff, like £5 through £8, which really you shouldn't really be doing that much of on FBA anyway, in my opinion, because of the fees and stuff. But these were in big job lots, and they cost me pennies anyway, so I decided to send them in. And if I'm honest, not a lot of them have gone, so I would be really picky with video games, and I'm starting to be even more picky now because I want to streamline my FBA inventory. I don't care about my eBay inventory. It can grow as big as I want, whatever, over the years, you know, that's fine. And I can wheedle out the real slow or the real crap stuff as I go on eBay. But on Amazon, what I want to do is, I've got a bit of crap up there at the moment. I want to wheedle it all out, streamline my inventory into faster sellers that, you know, I'm just sending stuff up there, maybe twice a month, and the fast sellers, and I've got maybe an inventory of maybe 200, something like that. That's the way I want to go with my FBA, especially with video games and new stock. Not that I'm going to do RA, but you know, like new stock in terms of picking up a new sale board game at a charity shop. But yeah, that's what I want with my Amazon, and then my eBay, as I say, it can grow to whatever. I'm not bothered. I'm like 860 listings now, so I'm quite near my target for April. I would have liked some more, actually. I would have liked close to 1,000 by the end of April, but I've had sales and stuff, and there was a sale running in my shop, I think end of March, early April, so that was quite hectic, and that pulled my listings down and stuff. So I've been listing reasonably okay, but I've not been like listing loads and loads. There've been a few days I've managed to hit 25, 30 listings in a day, which is great. But then there's been other days where I've done like 4 or 5 listings in a day. And yeah, I would have liked to maybe list a little bit more to get up to that target, but still, I'm happy with that. And then I've not done, just to update you on merch as well, because I know a lot of people ask about that. I've not done anything on it. I've not had time. I've just not had time with eBay and Amazon. So yeah, I've got merch to consider, maybe just doing that a little bit in the sidelines, but I'm going to focus on the 2 things that make me money, and that is eBay and Amazon, and that's what I need to do at the moment. I need to focus on the 2. I need to stop trying to get into these habits of going out and exploring these new different money-making ideas, which are great, but they're great for you and they make you more money maybe in the long term, but I need to focus on what makes me the money. That at the end of the day. So and I think I lost my way a little bit with that. So I need to focus on my eBay and my Amazon and get those up to standard, and then I can start thinking about additional income streams. And I've got quite a few ideas for that. Both actually physically having premises and things like that, and different things like that. In the more long term, not necessarily a shop premises, but like renting out space in shops and things like that is certainly on the agenda. And there's just loads of different ideas I've got. I don't want to go into too much detail because I'm trying to keep them a secret from you guys, so that then once I've set them up, I can show you how it's going, and I can sort of do it that way and show you on camera that way, and once it's all set up and all up and running and stuff. But I don't want to say to you guys, I've got this idea, and then it ends up, not working out or not happening anyway, because then I've got your hopes up and, saying that I'm doing something awesome and incredible, and I'm not doing it. But yeah, so I'm focusing on eBay and Amazon next few months, and then I'm going to see, once my eBay and Amazon are up to standard, I'm going to then see other opportunities for income, so which I do have, as I say, a few ideas on. Cartfishing just threw something in the chat. I can see him doing it. What was that? Would you stay? One sec. Let's have a look. How's yours, Darren? What's that? How's Darren's what? Darren's freezer. Oh, how's your merch doing? Oh, sorry. Darren already asked that. Sorry. I answered that anyway. How's yours, Darren? Non-existent, mate. So you've not got any sales yet, Darren. Peter says, would you say you definitely need to be scanning stuff to check rank, price, etc.? I buy all stuff for eBay off gut instinct. Wow, all off gut instinct. I use my phone like a crutch. I know Nick said that, so all credit to him for that phrase. But I use my phone like a crutch. I do, like in charity shops. Like, ooh, I'm on it all the time. I mean, I do like a lot of the auction lots that you saw me get. That was all gut instinct. Very, very little research. But things in charity shops like vintage books, I think I showed you them before in take 2 or something. Vintage books, things like that. Anything that I'm unsure of, boom, phone comes out. And when I don't have signal, I get really stressy because I'm thinking, I have to make a decision on my own. And it's probably not the best thing to do. You need to have that gut instinct. And, if phones went down or whatever for a considerable amount of time and you're trying to still do your reselling, it'd be quite hard. There's a lot of stuff I know, mentally, just from doing a load of research anyway. And you just pick it up. But there are a certain amount of stuff I do buy with doing research. In terms of, to answer your question, yes, I would scan everything. Well, not everything, but, like all the new and sealed stuff, or at first, scan all the new and sealed stuff. I'm doing DVDs, board games, that sort of stuff. Anything that you think will be, an okay seller on Amazon. You find a new and sealed Downfall, or a new and sealed Twister, or a new and sealed this, scan it. And then, what you need to do is go on the rank, and then it'll go on the product page, and it'll say like rank 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 in toys and games, whatever. I'm talking about toys and games because I like that. That's where I got into the new stuff and got into FBA on. So toys and games and DVD and Blu-rays, they're okay categories to look for rank. Basically you go into the product page and it'll say like, as I say, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 in toys and games. Then copy that title. Go onto your Safari on your phone. Go to camel. Paste that title in. Make sure you change the site. There's a little American flag like in one corner of the site. You'll be able to see it. Click that twice. Then go down to this new page it takes you to and click UK because you want to be looking at UK data. Then copy that title into the search, it'll take you to like a graphs page. Then click the little middle button that says sales rank. Go onto that, and any little peaks, I'm sure you've heard this from Nick and others, any little peaks on the graph are sales. I like to refine it by 3 months to start with. So refine it by 3 months or 1 month. Sometimes I do, yeah, actually quite a lot of the time. Or is there a thing for 1 month? I'm thinking there is, but maybe not. But anyway, 3 months or 1 month if there is one. And then you'll be able to see how many times it's sold in maybe 3 months. What I then do is count them up. So maybe there's 9, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, God knows, thousands of times it's sold in 3 months. You know, if you've got a new and sealed like downfall or whatever, and it sells on average over 100 times a month or over 50 times a month, whatever it is, you've got it for £2, and I don't know what downfall goes for at the moment, but it's quite a lot, isn't it, if it's new and sealed? But say you can get a good margin at like £30, £40, £50, something like that. Because I know used, that new downfall, I know used goes for like £20. Barbaric, but I don't know why. But yeah. Say you can get that for it and you've got it for £2, then you know you've got the margin, and then you just send it in. Scan it into Amazon, do your listing, done. A little bit more to it than that, but it really can be that simple, to be honest, to make money on Amazon. And once you get to know the rank, then if you say, for example, if you say you got a board game that was at rank 100,000, and then you got another board game that was ranked 10,000 in Toys and Games, then you look on Camel, how many times that 100,000 one sells, 100,000 rank, and how many times that 10,000 one sells. If you're happy with what that 100,000 board game is selling at, you know, the consistency of it selling, then you know that anything under 100,000 in Toys and Games, you're pretty safe to pick up. Obviously, there's rank fluctuations and stuff like that, but, you know, you're pretty safe to pick up. So you can then say, 50,000 in Toys and Games, 40,000 in Toys and Games, I'm happy with that. And you scan it in, and then you get to know what's a good rank, or what you consider a good rank, because rank is somewhat subjective. It is objective in one way, because obviously a certain rank is going to determine a certain sales frequency, but it's subjective in the fact of how long are you prepared to sit on an item. So, what I might think is a good rank might be your really, really slow rank. So, here she is. It's all subjective. I might be happy to wait 6 months for an item to sell. If I've got a couple of quid invested in it, you might only want to wait 1 month. And someone who's doing RA will say, I'm not waiting 3 months for a product to sell. That's ages for them. I don't care. On eBay, I'll wait 2 years for a product to sell. So, I've got a different perspective as someone who's doing maybe RA or something like that. So it is subjective in one way. But definitely on Amazon, I think we all have to have some firm limitation on how long we want to be sitting on items, because of the storage fees, the platform fees, all that sort of stuff. So with Amazon, you always have to be a bit more disciplined than with eBay. On eBay, I can sit on items forever, I don't care, and just go away, sit. As long as it's not too big and bulky, go away, see you in 4 years, That's fine by me, because I'm not paying the storage, You could put it on good till cancelled, or, 30 days and keep relisting it. You might have to watch that if you're doing it 30 days and keep relisting it, but, that's how I think about it. I've sold a grand total of 3 things on Amazon. My last item made me 2p profit. Really, 2p? Well, we all have to clear things at, near enough a loss. Funny thing is, I've cleared a few things at probably a very, very minor loss, but I don't think I've ever really sold anything more than a fiver or a tenner loss. And I don't even think a tenner, I think a fiver. I've made mistakes with postage when in the early days, I've got to post this with Royal Mail, this 5 kilogram bloody package, and it's £13 or whatever. But that was back before I was even bothering with Hermes. So I didn't even know about Hermes really back then, or else I would have gone to Hermes. Oh no, did I miss the fridge? Alright, we'll go to the fridge in a minute. Secret brothel in the back? No. Would you open a shop on high street ads? No, I've told you what I'd do. Massive corrugated sheet metal warehouse with everything in it. Everything, just everything. That's my dream. And I'd come in the morning every day, bow tie, you know, cool hat on, nice rainbow suit, done, sorted. That's what I can see me like in my 40s. Don't know why. Maybe 50s actually, because 40s is young these days, isn't it? 40s is like the new, I want to say 30s, but 40s is almost like the new late 20s. The way it's going, you know. 50s is definitely the new 40s. 20s must be like the new 10s. Bricks and mortar equals money pit. Well, yeah, I know. As you are obsessed with rainbow colours, I actually thought of changing this channel name to the Rainbow Reseller and buy some rainbow stuff and just do it that way. And I might do at one point, but I don't want to spend money on rainbow clothing because it's probably very expensive. Probably doesn't even exist until I, you know, make it exist because I get it tailored. Semi or full fat, do we think? Oh, we know the answer to that, David. I still use Royal Mail. Do you save a lot more with my Hermes? Yes, you do. If you've got like big bulky items. Add Joseph. Right, okay, that's everything. So, do you want to look at the fridge? Yay or nay? We'll have a look at the fridge if you want to. I don't know why people are obsessed with looking at my fridge. So wait a sec. Yeah, David says why? Yay. Yay! Oh, I need to actually go to the charity shop in a minute, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. But we've, you know, between like the 2 or 3 takes, we've had like an hour, so that's fine. Right? Everyone's saying, well, a few people are saying why. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to the charity shop in a bit. It's the Syrian one as well. I quite like that one. The one for the Syrian refugees. Right? Okay, fridge. What the hell? Well, you've got a bit of, you know, insightful content there, so we'll go. We'll have a look. Ready? What's everyone's guesses then? Let's do milk. No, David. Oh my god, I have this for every meal. I have this for every single meal. Whoa. No, you think I'm joking. But I have that for like every single meal. Don't know whether that's focusing very well, but Cajun. One sec, let me... There, Cajun. Cajun spice. I have that for like every single meal. That is great on mash. That is good. Just sprinkle that on mash. It's so nice. But there's the sauces. I love Liam Perrins. I don't really do tomato sauce much, but yeah, it's in there anyway. I have had it a few times. And this is like beans and I love processed peas. And beans. I like beans. And rice. I like rice. And we have enough to feed a village. And then here is biscuits and stuff, and usually crisps. Oh yeah, crisps. There's my prop for the comedy short. We have like another pack up there randomly. Half-size tins. Yeah, half-size tins because I just like the portion size of that. I like the portion size of that, and then I have a couple of rounds of toast, and it's just nice. It's a nice portion size. Beans have a lot of salt in, and I do try and watch my salt intake. I do watch my sugar intake, but it's salt I like to watch more. Just because I used to be very, very bad with my salt. So we have this Cravendale. It's like pasteurised milk. The only reason we have that is because I was getting very, very groggy with when we had like the normal milk. So we changed to this, and I'm not groggy anymore. Orange juice, I have that occasionally. Innocents, oh, I love Innocents, but they are expensive. What's in the foil? Chicken, that's a whole roast chicken. Eggs, vegetable soup, I love my soups. Again, though, some of them are quite high in salt. I love corn, I have loads of different corn. I really do like it. Obviously in like 2050 cattle stocks are set to run out, so we'll either have to change to eating insects like insect burgers and stuff, or corn like meat substitute. So I'm gearing up for that when I'm 54 years old. Nicely organised, neat fridge. We've got some ham in there. I quite like ham. I love sausages. They're like my guilty red meat pleasure. Cheese at the back of there. We all know I like my cheese on toast. Lurpak is mine, and my mum's is this horrible healthy Bertolli. The reason for my dislike of getting up in the morning for high school, because I used to have that every day. It was horrible, no taste. We've got some Bernard Matthews turkey, like, escallops there. They're quite nice. Low battery, I'm going to have to go in a minute anyway. Egg custards, second favourite dessert. My favourite dessert is... Oh God, what's my favourite dessert? Eton mess. Eton mess is my favourite dessert. But yeah, egg custard my second. A load of sauces, mayo and stuff in there. And this is usually the salad drawer.